Okay guys, so once you're in Thunkable, you should hopefully see a screen that looks like this. There may be a little kind of suggestion screen at the start that asks you for what type of user you are. Just click student and you should be looking at this. So once you do that, hit the start building button and give your project a name. I'm just going to call mine hello because that's all I'm going to get the project to do. Once you do that, it creates a project for you and you should hopefully see a screen that looks like this. By all means, look at the video if you like, you don't have to. Some people have this part of the screen here under tutorials. You don't need that. Look around it if you want, but if you hit the little purple arrow, it just puts it to the side and you have this. So on the left hand side here, you'll see that we have all the components that we might want to use for our apps. And on the left hand side here, or the right hand side, I should really know my right from my left, we have all of the ways that we change any component that we add. So currently the one that's on at the top there you can see is the screen, and we can change the background color of our screen, and I'm going to change mine to a dark blue. Grand. So the first thing we're going to add now is a label. So you just drag it in and you'll see the word label written there. We can change the font size to something a little larger and easier to see. So I'm going to change it to 40. I'm going to not make it say the word label. I'm going to make the text. So you click in the text box here. And I'm just going to make it say hello. And finally, you can choose the color of your writing, or you can choose the background color. And I'm going to choose a yellow color for ours. So you can also change the width and the height of the box and all that, but we're not going to worry about that now. So once that's done, I'm going to add a button. So I just drag a button and add it in. This is what we're going to press to play our sound. I don't want any text in our button, but I do want a picture. So if I go to background picture, it allows you to upload a file. You can take it from your library. You can always take a picture. You can do whatever you like, but I've got a picture of the Kishode logo as mine. It may take a little while to upload into it. But once it does, you should hopefully see a little version of the Kishode logo pop up in there. You just have to be patient. It might take a few seconds. So once that's done, you change the height and the width, and you go to fit contents. So up in height, you can leave it as the pick one fit contents, but change it to fill container, and it makes it larger. We're still waiting on our image, but that's okay. So once it's like that, then we can add the sound, because we want to get this button to make a sound when we press it. So if you go to the left hand side here and you scroll all the way down, you'll see sound as one of the options for our button. So we drag in a sound. So as you can see on the right hand side here, we're using our sound. I went to a website called freesound.org. You have to make an account, but they let you download anything. Alternatively, you can just download any sound file you like. Now, you can't go to YouTube and download anything, but you can download a sound file just like you would have for your radio shows. And you can download that onto your iPad and get to work. If you're on a PC, it's probably easier. So once you hit source, you can upload a file. Generally, the files aren't in your photo library, they're in your downloads. So you go to browse and you pick downloads. And if you download anything, that's my sound second from the top there. And once you do that, then it's downloaded in. So once you upload your file, it's done. There's mine. It'll take a second or two to upload, and that'll be that. So then what we need to do is we need to add our behavior. So you go to your blocks and you see that this is the coding part of Thunkable. So you see design there is how everything looks, and the blocks there is the actual coding bit. So using iPads, actually, this is kind of handy because it's all blocks. So you just click in and you drag in whatever you want. And if you drag in something you don't want, there's a little bin on the bottom corner and you just put it there. So the first thing we want to do with our coding is we want to know what happens when we click our button. So when button 1 is clicked, so if you tap the little button 1 part here, then once that's clicked, you can say, right, clap the sound thing, and we say play sound, and this will happen. So this is exactly what we want for now. Then we hit screen 1. So when screen 1 starts, when screen 1 starts, we want our label to be invisible. So you go to label 1, you go right down, you see where it says label 1 visible is set to true, and we're going to set that visible to false, which means you shouldn't be able to see it. And then once you click the button, we'll set it to true, and you should be able to see it. So that's really all the coding we need to do. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to just do a live test of our app. So click the live test button, click, there's our Kishog logo, there's our button. And if we do that, you should hear a hello. And that's the way it should work. Okay. So use whatever sound you like, use whatever logos you like, but that is how we make our first app. So once you do that, guys, you could always just take a screen recording of it working,